my city, well, you took me by surprise. A moment of perfection.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Honeybees Women's Empowerment Talk Show. My name is Dana Day, and I have a special guest today waiting for me over on the couch, and I also have somebody that will be joining us who I will introduce them both in just a moment. But I'm about to sing a great song. It's by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and this is called Dancing in the Streets. Hit it, Mike. Vegas Dorton. Thank you. All right. Calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new treat? Summer's here and the time is right for dancing in the street. Dancing in Chicago, come on back up singers. Down in New Orleans, up in New York City, Marchand and Juanita. Sweet, 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 sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be swing and sway, records playing, dancing in the street. Well, it doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. Come on, every guy, grab a girl, everywhere around the world they'll be dancing. They're dancing in the street. There's an invitation across the nation, a dance for the girls to be. They'll be swinging, swaying, records playing, dancing in the street. Philadelphia, PA, Baltimore and DC now. Can't forget the Motor City. All we need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be swinging, swaying, records playing, dancing in the street. Well, it doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. Come on, every guy, grab a girl, everywhere around the world they'll be dancing. They're dancing in the street, way down in LA, every day, dancing in the street. Let's a big song play now. They're dancing in the street, dancing in the street, dancing in the street now. Dancing in the street. Thank you. And thank you to my backup singers, the Marvelettes. Thank you. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Honeybees, and I am your host Dana Day, and today I have a special guest, and I'm just pulling up my little notes here. So today my special guest is Caleb Stewart, and this is Caleb right here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Marchand Melcher, who is dropping in, and I invited her to stay today for today's show because we're talking about a very important topic today that a lot of people, it's very worldwide, it could be suffered, or I say suffered, with families or individuals, and our topic today is called Learning to Overcome Fears. So with that said, we have Caleb who flew in literally flew in just for the interview today.
And he has a big fear of flying.
And you have a fear of flying.
I do not have a fear of flying, but
You don't?
I do not.
It's gonna be a really fun show.
Sorry.
So now we're gonna make him laugh. We're gonna
Yeah.
You are. It's
So-
But coming specifically to see Dana
all the
and
way
do that, oh, it's so
for
cool.
the
From Dallas.
interview, and he from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
How was the flight?
It was really long. Yeah.
It was a
It's
long
gonna be
flight.
longer going home, but
Oh,
it's
yeah,
it will
right?
be.
Are you
Yeah.
leaving tonight?
Yeah, so I will leave. I'll be at the airport at 10 o'clock, and then I'll just wait for the flight, and then I fly to Atlanta, and then that's my connecting flight, and I fly back to Dallas in the morning.
Oh wow, well, we are so happy to have you here.
Ah.
So, and Marchand and I are I'm sure we're gonna drill you by the end of the
We'll be easy.
we'll be easy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So today's topic, first of all, I want to tell the audience a little bit about you.
Okay.
Okay, so you are an author, and you wrote a book,
I did.
which is coming out
In November.
November 14th,
Indeed.
and the title of your book is called
What happens next?
What Happens Next, which leads to the beginning of my question. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what, your life, growing up, or what led you to writing the book.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Dallas, and I grew up. It was very interesting the way I grew up. Up until I was 8, my mom was a single mom, and she was a drug addict, so she used heroin. And so when you have 2 kids at home, that single parent income only goes so far, especially when you're supporting a drug habit. And so I learned very on in life, drugs is not a route I want to go, but I didn't realize that alcohol would lead me down the same road. And so I went to high school. I went to Allen High School, and graduated high school. At that point, I had lived with my aunt and uncle, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't make good grades in school. I was a slacker.
But did you have the potential?
I definitely had the drive. My parents and the teachers that I had definitely tried to push me in the right direction. I just had a hard time listening to them, And so anyway, I went to the military, and
Which branch?
I was in the Army, and so then when I got out, I was very upset when I got out, because I had gotten hurt, and my ankle was really messed up, and so anyway, I got out, and I came home, and I just began to drink, and I was really good at it.
And we talked about what your drink of choice.
It was Jaeger.
And the Jägermeister girls.
Well, I don't know about the girls, but it definitely was the Jaeger.
Well, my father owned a restaurant, and there was a bar, and I guess the liquor supplier was a friend, and they would set up events. So I remember the Jägermeister girls would go around and give you this, look like a blue or green, or kind of tasted like cough syrup, but you were like, woo! You could barely drive or walk after you had it.
It's not a beer.
It's a liqueur. So I'm sorry. Go back to it.
It's a liqueur. Yeah, I think it's a liqueur. Honestly, I don't know quite what it is, but I know it definitely did its job.
And you mixed it with Red Bull?
I did. Which is called, I think it's a Jaeger bomb.
Okay.
And so, so anyway, I had come home, and I began to drink, and when I would go out and drink, I would drink, and I'd probably do $200-300 bar tabs a night.
Really? So
give or
that's a
take.
lot of Jägermeister.
It wasn't just
And Red Bull.
Jaeger. Yeah,
Or a lot of
it
gas.
was a lot of rough mornings. And so anyway, I had gotten to the point to where I had met this girl, and I'd fallen in love with her. And so I'd always had a hard time moving on from what happened to me as a kid, and my mom passed away when I was in the 5th grade due to drug addiction. And so I had always carried that with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so I had always carried that with me. And so she's actually the one that encouraged me to write. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot.
So you showed tendencies of being a good writer as a little boy?
Well, I mean, I wasn't really a good writer. I just didn't know how to write. I mean, I've always struggled with just grammatical errors and sentence structure and things like that. And these are things that as I became a writer, I had to learn. Hey, this is how you do that.
Yes.
Well, you did well. You certainly did.
I did. I appreciate that.
You're eloquent right now. I can tell you.
Well, I appreciate that. And so anyway, she encouraged me through everything. Unfortunately, I let drinking stand in the way of that relationship, and I had lost everything. And so I went back to writing, and I found my sobriety in writing.
Oh. Now, can you elaborate on that
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense what you said, but what was the connection with sobriety and writing? Like, did it somehow let you express your feelings that you're holding in maybe on paper? So, I don't know.
So I had gone to AA a few years earlier. And
successfully? What did you
no,
think of it?
No, I did not complete AA successfully. And the reason I didn't complete AA successfully is because I didn't think I had a drinking problem. And so you
Very
can't.
common,
So
right?
prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go into wanting, to get help and say I don't have an issue and I don't need help.
Absolutely.
So every time I wouldn't get past. I think most I ever made it was like the second step. And so what I mean by finding my sobriety in writing was after I had lost everything. While writing the book, it's a reflection on my life. And so it made me think a lot about my life and what had happened to the point to where I was like, you know what, I don't even want to do this anymore. I see where it's going to go. It's going to happen every time. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't want to do.
Continuously
Get
drink.
drunk.
Yeah. I don't want to get drunk all the
You
time.
were clear enough to be able to, to self-advise and talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Bravo. So many aren't. I mean, they're so
Yeah.
lost.
Oh yeah.
They're so
They're
lost.
in denial. Like they
Yeah.
will just,
Right.
they don't believe that they are drinking,
Yeah.
that they have a problem.
So
Right.
you probably were given this gift of drinking because you can help other people with your clear thinking, right?
Maybe, I guess if you want to call it a gift.
Well,
But, I tell you, I've told some other people this, is when I got to the point to where I really wanted to become sober, I had applied to different rehabs. Well, they wouldn't take me. They said, well, we can't take you.
Why
I said,
not?
well, why not? They said, because you have too much trauma in your past you haven't worked past. To treat alcohol addiction, we have to attack it essentially head on. And I said, well, I suffer from alcoholism because of the things that happened.
Right, it's like a
So-
catch-22
Yeah.
situation.
But
like a catch
I was
22.
determined, and I looked at my life, and my biggest motivators in my life was my little brother and my
Yeah.
uncle. If I drank my life away, then I knew what that would probably how they would feel, and I didn't want them to go through
so I
that.
was thinking, you say you're putting other people first, thinking
Yes.
about them,
Yes.
and wow, okay.
So, did you ever end up being accepted into a rehab eventually?
No, I did not. Like I said, I had written, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but by the end of the book, I just didn't have an urge to drink anymore. I was just like, I would go out and I would see people drinking, and it's just, I would think, should I do this? But I'm like, acting on impulses aren't a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
So true.
no, I wanted to remain sober. And
So you became aware, like you saw
Yeah.
them, and that's funny. Like, 'cause I have a similar but different situation. Like, because I would say my addiction is I'm a compulsive overeater, and I fight it. I've been fighting it all my life, and I'm an emotional eater.
Yes,
Like
me too.
the thing I want the most on earth is to be very thin and tiny and wear a little outfit. But then, you know, I'll be at the mall and I'll say, oh, there's the cinnamon Wetzel pretzel.
Cinnamon.
You know, and then next thing you know, I'm eating a pretzel and I'm like, why did I do that?
I know how that is.
So, yeah, so when I was eating healthy, I was sitting in the food court. I used to work at the mall here in the cosmetics, and I was eating healthy, and I saw these people coming with trays, and I thought, look how these people eat, because I was eating some chicken and vegetables with no crust. And they had like breaded everything and French fries and cheese, and I was like, oh my God. And I would compare that to when, you know, because I was eating so healthy, I became aware, and then I went back, you know, so many times to the bad eating. But that's like drinking, you know, you start noticing, but then one day you just hope that you don't break down and have that, well, I'll just have one, and then it leads to, it could go on. So that's it's an everyday, it's like when you wake up, when the sun rises until the sun goes down. It's just one day at a time, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not a, this month, it's just literally like, because it makes it easier. Like, I'll just make it through this one
I can never
day.
have a drink. I can never have another drink, ever, ever. And it makes people so, you know, the foreverness of it is so difficult.
It's like, I'll never have an apple fritter again.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I know one day I'll have the apple fritter at
So
7-Eleven again.
You know, one moment. I mean, you know, our life can change in a moment.
Indeed.
Really.
Well, and I always tell people, you know, like people would ask me, they're like, well, what got you through it? I said, well, I thought about it, and I said, well, it doesn't matter what happens today. The fact of the matter is, you got it tomorrow. So when the sun goes down, the sun comes up, it starts a new day.
It's a new day.
So you can tackle, I mean, new day brings new opportunity.
Yes.
Amen.
So did you and your girlfriend ever reconcile, the girl that you were with?
We're still not back together, but I still love her, you know, and I always will love her. But
And we have to forgive people.
yeah, 100%. And you know, I know that the things that I've done to her, the things that I've done, you know, when I've been drinking, it was unacceptable, and I've made peace with that.
That's good.
And
Absolutely.
To make
yeah.
peace.
How many people would love to be able to say, I have made peace with that, Kayla?
Yeah.
See, that's this, well, this book, I'm so
Oh
excited.
yeah, we wanted to talk about your book, but we're just.
I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna-
I'm sorry.
No.
It's
Just
No,
the
no, no.
book.
It's
We're
so
leading.
exciting
We're
because
leading to the book
There's so many
because
people.
you're an author.
I am.
You're an author, and I just want to, if you don't mind, a couple more questions.
Oh yeah, no worries.
What did you do when you had? Did you have days? I mean, we're all human. Where you woke up and you were sober, but you maybe thought, God, I just want to have one. Did you find a way to cope with that? Like, how did you get through that?
You know, it's funny that you asked me that because yes, all the time, especially within that first 2-week period of becoming sober, I had the headaches, I had I would start to shake a little bit, and I guess the thing that kept me going was, again, the motivation of looking towards other people as being my light. You know, because if I'm in a trapped in this tunnel,
That is,
there's somebody that I need to look towards that'll pull me out, and that was my brother, and that was my family.
and they were there rooting for you.
They were. I mean, I put them through a lot, but they were.
I just want to say something I don't really ever talk about, but I did have a sister, and she was 2 years older, and she liked drugs when we were young. You know, I remember she was smoking pot with her friend, and I was like, "You're smoking marijuana," you know. She was the younger sister, but she got really drawn into that lifestyle, and she did become a heroin addict, although the family didn't know it. It was kind of secretive, and one day she had little scratches all over her hand, and I thought it was because she had a puppy, and she said it was biting her hand, but then somebody said they saw her hand and said that she was shooting up. And I thought, no, that can't be true, but it was. So that's when I found out, and I tried to help her, I called rehabs, I called this and that, and then I found out that you cannot help somebody until they're ready to help themselves. So she passed away.
Oh, I'm
She
sorry.
became homeless, and It was very hard. She was my only sister, and and my mother had just passed away, so I had a really hard time. And so I really relate to you when you say that you lost your mother to that, because the people that are left behind are just, like I have some days where I think, God, I wish I had my sister to grow older with, but she couldn't help it. She became, she was predisposed or whatever. Her heroine was my apple fritter at 7-Eleven, 20 seconds in the microwave, But anyway, so with that said, we wanted to ask you about your book. So you're an author and you wrote a book, and we said that at the beginning of the show. And your book is called
What Happens Next?
What Happens Next?
What a great name.
That's a great name.
It is.
Well, thank
Title.
you. Well, people always ask me, like, what now? What now that you're sober?
Exactly.
Well,
that's great.
What happens next? So that's what the future's to come. I'm excited to bring it out on the 14th. I know it'll be available at Barnes and Noble. It'll be available at Amazon.
That is fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. I know in Texas, we're doing a book tour at the end of the year. So we're going to 9 different cities. I'm going to try, depending on how it goes, I want to do a national tour. I think it would be cool. So I'd love to come to Vegas and catch back up with you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is the city where a lot of people come here and slam a few bats.
This is where the magic happens.
Okay, was that this?
Anyway, so what happens next? And before we take our break, what happens next? So you came up with that title, and how did you get? It's like, okay, a lot of people say, especially in LA, you could be getting the mail. Oh, I'm really a script writer, but I'm doing the mail. So what brought you to the point where you actually sat down and wrote, and how did you learn how to write the book? Did you do it all? There's so many questions, and we're going to drill your brain.
Yeah, I will tell you, it's not It's not your traditional book. And what I mean by that is, when you read a book, it's more told in third person or from an outside perspective. However, mine is written from my accounts.
So account.
Everything that happens in the book, whether it be painful that I'm writing about, you guys will read it, and you guys will feel it.
It's very raw and real.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you didn't leave anything out.
No, I talk about the day that we buried my mom. I talk about everything. I mean, it's all in the book.
Kind of like purged out. You kind of got that out of you.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I'd always said, when this is done, that's when I'm going to close that chapter of my life and open a new one. And now that it's done, November 14th, I get to bring it to you guys, and I get to open my new chapter.
So we're going to be taking a break. That's excellent. We're going to be taking a break. Maria, how long do we have? So when we come back, we're going to get more in depth about what happens next. We have some questions. We're going to find out everything.
We do, because you have such a message. And
I appreciate it.
You're so strong. Your energy is great. Like I could feel it.
I know. And
I appreciate it.
Flying in from Dallas, I
flew
love
in.
it.
Are your arms tired? No.
Yeah.
But I'm
Silly.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
As we continue to grow and build a brand, social media shows continue to develop and discover new possibilities to help one another. Our affordable services will help us move to the next level of our journey. Host your own show to inspire or entertain others for as low as $150 per month.
You have 20 shows a week, live stream.
We are looking for sponsors. We showcase your business products and services on our network to be seen by your target market for as low as $200 a month.
That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations.
Let us promote and advertise your event, giving your venue the red carpet treatment. This platform allows venues that feature entertainment, singers, bands, DJs, comedy, fashion, corporate events, and family events to be showcased in a new direction that also involves your audiences starts at $200 an hour. We also provides video editing, website builder, commercial video for your business, music videos, photography, provided by our affiliates. As we build our community, we pay it forward. Our nonprofit organization GI Connections is all about giving back to our community.
Blowing through my city, well, you took me by surprise. A moment of perfection.
Welcome back to Honeybees, women's empowerment talk show, and men as well. Empowering everybody. And my name is Dana Day, and we are here at the Art House. The art.
This is not an outhouse.
That was one of our bloopers. We're not in an outhouse? Oh, I thought we were a big one.
She's
No,
just learning.
We're at the Art House Theater in the historical downtown Las Vegas. And we are interviewing Caleb Stewart. So welcome back from the break.
Thank you.
And today's guest, Caleb, is an author. So just before the break, we are going to talk about your book. So if anyone's just joining us, the title of the book is
What Happens Next?
What Happens Next? And that
Great
is,
title.
we want to what's the word? She's a good with English.
Dive, yeah.
Indulge.
We want to indulge into that.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you, we already talked about how you came up with the name. You just thought okay, so now you're doing some big things with your book. You have the book release November 14th. You are doing a book signing tour around Texas, where you live. You flew in. And you just said before the break that you are possibly doing a tour around the country.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Texas goes. I want to do the tour because I think it'd be definitely beneficial to people.
Okay, so, and that would really be beneficial. So, and this might even be something that could be used as a tool for those who are suffering through addiction, whether it be pills or alcohol or whatever. Okay, so.
Or shopping. No,
Or
I'm sorry.
shopping.
I mean, there's so many ways to
Laying
be
there on your
addicted.
phone at 2 in the
So
morning,
many
you'll buy
ways.
those 12 pairs of shoes. So, okay, how did you go from writing a book? Did you write the book all by yourself, or did you have a ghostwriter?
No, I wrote everything by myself.
Okay, and how many, did it go by words? You know how they say, like, it's 1,000 words?
Oh, I mean, relatively, it's a relatively short book. It's about 25,000 words. It's a 6x9. I think it came out before I sent it off to be edited. It came out to about 120, almost 130 pages. So not a very big book, not a very small book.
Well, that's a perfect size book.
Yes, a nice explanation. That was
That was, yeah, really, I
6 by
visualized the book in my mind now.
Yeah.
So now you wrote, so this is the exciting part, is you mentioned that there's a script and you're going to
Yes.
make a movie about
Yes.
your book?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
man.
so,
How did that all come about? Who did you know? What happened?
yeah, so I have always been a fan of movies. Like growing up, I always wanted to be an actor in the movies. Well, I mean, I didn't do that, but I've always been a huge fan of cinema. And so while I was working on the book, I got to work with people, from all over the world that helped me market, that helped me, put things together, do cover design.
How'd you find those people?
How did you do that?
We want to know.
Well,
how you found them.
I would Google. I would say, hey, look, and it took me to this app. It's called, I forget what this app is called. It's like Fiverr, but it's not Fiverr. I don't know.
You'll remember.
I forget what
But
it is.
you did it through apps.
Yeah, so I reached out to people through apps, and what I would do is I'd say, hey, look, I need help, because I designed the cover myself, but I need help. Like,
You're an artist too?
Oh.
no, well, I mean, I did it myself, but
What don't you do?
I'm like a Swiss Army knife. You just keep pulling. But I had done it myself. I had designed it through an app, and then I put a job posting out, and I said I need somebody to help me like shape this in the correct way, and so they did that, and I put different job postings out to help me with the book, and people from all over the world helped me with that. I worked with a guy from Sweden who did my press release. We did a press release.
And that was through an app as well?
Yeah, I had reached out. I had put a job out, and he had said, "Hey, look, I'm doing this." I said, "Okay, well, send me what you can do, and I'll read it." So he sent it to me. I said, "Okay, cool." And then he just so good at it. I said, "How would you like to do this for me, like full time? Like every time I have a job, let's work together." He's like, "Awesome." So I wanted to write a script, but I had never written a script before. And so I said,
it's like you could do anything
I know
you
I know.
want.
Right.
You can do anything you want,
I
and
want
you're
to
a
cuddle
great
up. Maybe it
example.
will.
well, I appreciate
Role model.
I appreciate the kind words. Like I said, I don't care about anything other than if this book can help one person, then I've done my job.
Okay.
And so,
Really? I mean, that
Well,
just
thank you.
is,
He's blushing.
means
I know I am.
that means
Have
everything.
some water.
Totally everything. Yeah.
But so I had put a job posting. I said, hey, look, I'm looking for somebody that might be able to co-write a script with me. We're gonna work together. We're gonna write together. I'm gonna tell you the story. You are gonna read the book before anybody else does. He said, okay. So I'm working with a guy. Believe it or not, he's from India, and this is how far this has gone.
Sweden, India.
This is how far this has
a
gone.
global
How far
Yeah.
and how much this is needed all
Yeah.
over the world.
Well, and a lot of people think, hey, it's just an American thing. No, the people that I've talked to that have worked with this with me, they're like, no, this is going on here and here, here. And so his name is Google. And
Google?
Google.
As in, when
Google.
in doubt, Google.
Well, but it's spelled Gokul.
Oh, I love that.
Google. And so, yeah, he's been like a huge, this guy is so talented.
And he's India. In
Yes.
India.
In India.
Yes. So we'll talk. It's so funny because I'll be up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning and he'll just be starting like eating lunch.
Oh yeah, they're
And
about
so
half
his
a day
tie
ahead of
zone,
us.
yeah. And but I make the sacrifice to do that because I know I'm like, hey, look, this is what's important to me.
You found your people, global.
I did.
Yeah, right.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
And so we wrote a beautiful script. I got a couple friends of mine that I found that are producers. So we're sending that off to them. It's been listed on IMDb,
On what?
Internet Movie Database.
Oh.
Wow. How do you get into that? Is that do you apply or
They do. You got to submit. There's all these submission requirements that you have to do before they'll list it, because they have to obviously investigate it.
Yeah.
And so I have a page on IMDb, and as a matter of fact, I was ranked in the top 150,000. It was what my star meter was on yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Caleb, honestly.
And so I'm just ready to get this movie made.
And how
I think
grateful are you?
I owe all my success, and I tell people I owe all my success for the people that believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Well, you
that's
are
wonderful.
really that's great to hear, and you had these people. Who's gonna play you? Brad Pitt?
I really like.
You.
Who's gonna play you?
He's gonna play
I-
some actor.
I don't know. We haven't casted yet, but
Yeah.
ideally, if I could pick anybody, I'd want Evan Peters to play me. He's from, I don't know if you've seen American Horror Story, but he plays in American Horror Story.
Should we Google him?
You can Google him if you want. But I'm sure if they know who he is, I think he'd be a great fit. I don't know.
Does he look like you?
I would like to think so.
Or do you look like him?
I don't know. But no, I'm excited. I mean, I'm ready to get the movie, up and rolling. So yeah, it's just I'm blessed for every opportunity.
You definitely are.
Wow.
Can you give us a little bit of a idea of the story? Is it going to start when you were a little boy and going through everything?
So
like you went through with your mother up until now?
So I'll tell you this much about the script. So we're gonna open the movie with my character driving a truck down a road, and there was times when I was in my sobriety that I even questioned my own life, and so I wanted to write about that in the movie. And I have a friend of mine who writes films and everything like that, and he would always tell me.
Where does he live?
He lives in the UK, but he's a good mentor
I'm
of mine.
joking because everybody's somewhere else
And
in the world.
he told me, he said, you have about 5 minutes to hook an audience's attention, and that'll determine whether they stay or whether they walk out.
Even
I
a
said-
book, like the first sentence.
Yeah.
I could hook you in.
I said, okay, let's do it. So Google and I got together and we said, okay, we're gonna make.
In India.
we did. We got together and we said, we're gonna make this a heck of a movie. And so we immediately open up the movie. You see the truck. My character pulls off the road.
What kind of a truck? Is it
Just a
He
regular
wants to know the
pickup
kind of a
truck.
truck.
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe a beer truck or something.
No, well, it was when we had written it in the script, it was like
What year was the truck?
Yeah, right. And what color? And
well, when we wrote it in the script, it was like a faded
Automatic
blue.
or shift?
You guys remember those faded blue square body, the Fords back in the day?
Yeah.
That's what we had written in the script.
Okay.
And so, he pulls off the road, lights a cigarette, drinks a thing of whiskey or whatever.
Jägermeister.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
And he reaches in the glove box. You see him pull out a gun, but he racks it back. But as he racks it forward, the screen cuts to black. So you don't know what happens. So
I got you.
at that point, what we decided to do is we said, well, let's just start it from the childhood, work our way up. But in reality, he's having flashbacks up until we catch up to that scene. At that point, the movie goes on. And I actually wrote me writing the book in the movie. And we end the movie great. I don't want to spoil the ending.
Don't give the ending away.
But
I won't
the
let you.
book is in the movie. So you actually see my character writing the book, getting the rejection letters, getting the rejection emails, going back to the drawing board. What can I improve on? You see it all in the movie.
That would be so wonderful if you could play in it. Writing it, producing it, playing it. That's how magic
Writer,
is made.
director, producer.
Right.
Not
Who are
director,
you?
not director. So I'm going to produce the film. I'm obviously one of the writers on the film, and I will have a narration role in the film. But the narration will actually be direct narrations from the book.
This is just now from the beginning of writing the book and ending the book, because this could help other people I that want to write. And
Right.
I wanted to write a book about my sister's life because she was friends with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and she knew of somebody named Marilyn, and she knew Boy George, and she used to go to England, and she was one of the first punk rockers, and like her story is so. It needs to be heard, but I would never know. I don't know where to start. So where would you say to start?
Guess who?
Right?
I would say,
Right.
see, this is hard because I would tell you, for somebody that wants to do that I would say, start where your heart tells you to start. Focus on the good memories, but don't be so quick to push off the bad ones, because if you can write those both into a story, and you can have a good ending, a conclusion, then it doesn't matter if the book sells. It doesn't matter if it. Then you know that you did what you wanted to do, and it was important to you.
Yeah, and just sitting down and just writing that first word. Did you do yours online on
I did.
an app? Some
No.
sort of app?
Well, I did mine on Word.
Word.
And yeah, I would write. I remember when I first started writing the book, at the time I was drinking, and so I would get really plaster drunk, and then I'd just go in there and lock myself in the room for like 3 days. Wouldn't eat, wouldn't do anything, just keep drinking, and then I'd just sit there and write. But it's cool because you can see the progression. You can actually see me become sober while reading the book.
Oh, that's fabulous. Oh my gosh.
Did you have writer's block ever, where you wouldn't be able to
Did.
come up with anything? And how long would that last in general?
I did. You know, there's a thing that, and it's funny that you asked me that.
I like to ask questions, have you noticed?
Is that good?
You do. You do a great job.
It's
Yeah,
my
she does,
natural
doesn't she?
thing.
Yeah.
There's a thing that actors do
So
when they
smart.
write, when they act in movies. It's called method acting, and so that's how they get into the role that they're going to play. And so what I would do is I wouldn't listen to like songs with lyrics. I would just listen to like instrumental songs, but it would be either very sad, it would be very depressing, and then I would just sit there and listen, and I would think about what I'm going to write, and then I would just let everything come out from there.
Oh, very interesting.
Yes,
So
it
the
is.
music inspired you.
Yeah, I was writing to the music, but it was about my life.
So more instrumental.
And you'd been drinking when you did.
Well, no, that wasn't, I didn't start doing that until after I said, you know what, I wanted to become sober because now I've taken alcohol, I need something else to stimulate me. So that's where I found music, was to stimulate that.
That's wonderful. And how long have you been sober? Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, I've been sober since June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't plan on drinking it. I just, to me, it's no point.
And if you do, don't beat yourself up. You just have to wake up and start over, you know?
That's true, but you know
Yeah,
what?
right. Good-
I
very
gotta,
good point.
I gotta be an example for other people. Like if people see me out drinking, then they're gonna be like, well, obviously him and his story isn't serious.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, I gotta be their light.
So that holds you accountable now. It gives you
Oh, yeah.
another reason to be accountable because you wrote the book.
Right, and,
But
and,
we
and,
are
to, and to
humans.
have that heart where he's, you know, just wanting to help other people, putting that first is that, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the magic of
Right.
living, Caleb,
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
going to be a big success.
Well, I appreciate, you know, and I never did it for the notoriety. I didn't do it for the money. I didn't do it for
Did
the.
it for the therapy.
I just wanted to. I figured, hey, look, there's probably somebody out there. One of the biggest things that I regret looking back on my life, and I write about this in the book, was not being able to save my mom, not being able to do it. And so,
And forgiving yourself because it wasn't anything you
Right.
did. It was
Right.
her problem that
Right.
only she could have changed.
right. And I guess the reason I wrote the book was I figured, you know, I can't save my mom, but maybe I can save somebody else's. And so that's why I decided to make it a book.
All right, I believe so much in the hereafter, and your mama is so proud of
She's
you.
proud of you right now.
I know she
Here
is.
with her.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do you attribute your sobriety to?
What do you mean? Like,
Meaning, like, what helped? Well, I guess we've already talked about that. Like, you're doing so well since June, so it just you wrote the book and you're just tired of it, or you just because some people they can't find that place to
Right.
to start, and
So
you're doing so
true.
well.
Right.
Like maybe I could reword it like. Are you eating differently or working
No,
out,
I
or
just-
you do what? It's just in your mind.
I
You-
just
you
can't
had
stop
enough.
writing. No, I wrote a book and I fell in love with writing, and I can't stop writing. It's one of those things for me where it's like if I go a day or 2 days without writing, I get really agitated because there's so much I want to tell, but I only have like so much time to do it.
Do you keep a blog or
No.
or a journal?
I do not. No, I'm not good about the repetition of that. The book is literally the only thing I was good at, with the repetition and then the screenwriting. So I might write. I have plans to write books in the future about other things, but this was my. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And
Thank you, Mike Vegas Dorton.
Thank you, Mike Vegas.
He's here. He's here.
I think once this is all said and done, that you know, I'll just get to close the chapter of my life I was looking for. and I've been searching for the last 23 years.
Wow, you are just
You are.
amazing.
You are.
And we are so proud. I could say we speak
Oh,
for
we,
Marchand
yes,
and
we,
myself,
yes, indeed.
to be sitting here with you. You're just, it's so.
I have chills. I have
Encouraging.
chills. I swear, it's just when things are really
They're
true.
multiplied.
Yeah, but you know, but it's.
Well-
I've had a lot of alcoholism in my family, and it's just so, you know, in the other families, and
Right.
it's just so.
just keeps
What you're
going.
doing is so important. I mean, it's just a life destroyer.
Right.
So what's next for you?
Well, we're gonna go to work on the movie. Then I wrote another script for another movie, so I got 2 screenwriting credits now.
Is there a script that you wrote another movie for the same topic or something?
No, this
So
one's a
you're
World War.
branching out.
Yeah, this one's a World War II drama.
Oh my God.
I love World War II.
I
movies.
know. It's.
Yeah.
You're tapping into
I am.
all of your talents and
Yeah. So I'm excited because we you know, Google and I, we loved working with each other on this one. We're like, well, we don't want to stop working with each other, so let's just keep going.
Google.
Caleb, this is the most uplifting half an hour or 45 minutes that I've spent in a long. I mean, truly.
Well, thank you.
I think we should all chip in and help you pay for your trip back to Dallas. I mean, you really
Move
have
to Vegas.
truly.
Tell
or
me,
move
I
to
take
Vegas.
Venmo and I take Zelle.
Take Cash App too.
PayPal. She's offering money.
But you know, so yeah, we enjoyed working together so much. We wrote a beautiful script, and we're like, let's just go for it. And so yeah, we wrote 1945, and that's
the name of your new one?
That's the name of the new one.
And is that an IMBD
It
as
is.
well?
It is on IMDb.
I got
So-
the initials right.
You
Yay.
did. I'm so impressed.
So
IMDb.
we got 1945 that'll hopefully enter pre-production. We have What Happens Next already in pre-production.
You're going to become
And-
a huge Hollywood producer.
Yeah.
1945 was the end of World War II when they
Indeed.
freed the prisoners from the concentration camps.
Yep.
1945, so would I be safe to guess that it is something to do with that?
It's so
Not just the
right.
concentration camp.
I mean, 1945 obviously ended the greatest human tragedy in history, and so I'm a huge fan. I loved growing up. I used to watch movies like Saving Private Ryan and Fury and just all these great movies, and I loved it. So I said, you know what?
Platoon, do you know that
Yeah,
one?
I do. I do know Platoon. Yeah.
That was big one in
Um,
its day.
I know We Were Soldiers was one too that I watched. And so anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write one day. And so one day finally got here, and
So this is, excuse me, but it's always been in somewhere in your being.
I just wanted
When you were
to
little.
be in the movies.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do that.
And you're doing it.
you know,
Yes, you are.
and so, but no, in 1945, the real history behind the movie is there was a battle. It was called the Battle of Remagen. And what it was U.S. troops went to go invade Nazi Germany, but they had to overtake this bridge. Well, I had pulled from the concept of that, and I said, we're going to reverse the roles. We're going to have 8 guys stay on the bridge while the other U.S. people, soldiers advance into Germany, but they don't know, but they got Nazis coming to take this bridge, but they have to hold this bridge at all costs. And that's what we're gonna do.
It's a great premise of a movie.
Yeah.
So you wrote the script.
Yeah.
Do you want to make that into a film as well?
Yeah, so that page is 100 pages. So that's each page of script is about a minute of screen time. So that 100 pages comes out to about an hour and a half. So both
But then you have
scripts.
editing too.
Right. Yeah, so hopefully it works out good. Hopefully we don't need any revisions. But if we do, we're prepared for the revisions.
And where are you filming that?
So we don't know. We haven't got
Not
the
yet.
locations for the 1945 or anything like that. We're working on locations right now for What Happens Next. But yeah, 1945 is just that.
But you
Marchand, we're surrounded by an upcoming star.
We certainly are, and you and Google are. I mean, that's just an amazing story. He's in India, you're here,
That's spelled
and you
differently.
haven't met him.
No, I plan on going to meet him next summer. Me and him
Oh,
are gonna
of
go.
course.
We're gonna hang out for a week, 2 weeks.
In India?
In India, yeah, we're gonna go.
the same there, Indian food in India as the Indian food here? That's
I
my
don't know.
question.
He says it's pretty bomb.
'Cause I love it.
Oh, Caleb, you just are you're a heart warmer.
You're a dream maker. Anyway, we're coming to the end of our show, and it went by so quickly. And
Already.
We got so much information out of you. Is there anything we didn't cover that you would like to mention before we have about a minute and a half left?
No, I just appreciate.
Any shout outs to any of your friends? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, if people are interested in reaching out to me or following the book and the movies, I'm very active on Instagram.
What's your name on Instagram?
Official_CStew.
How do you spell that? Official underscore and then what?
CSTEW.
CSTEW.
CStew,
Okay.
yeah.
And then how can people reach you other than that?
Ooh, they can reach me on Facebook.
And what's your name on there?
Google.
Caleb
On
Stewart.
Google.
On Google. Yeah, they can reach me on Facebook, Caleb Stewart. They can email me, caleb.stewart781
But they have to know how to spell Caleb.
CALEB.
CALEB. See, I didn't know. I was like, is that a K?
Yeah. we got it right.
And Stewart at STUART.
STEWART.
See?
There you
Go
go.
anyway
Could
like
go anyway. I'll have to go to Google.
I just see this
Right?
book. I just see this book like in AA meetings, and I just
Yes.
see books everywhere.
Right.
I mean, truly everywhere.
Well,
It's going to be like a staple when they
Right.
get checked into rehab. Here, this is your reading material.
I
They'll
feel
give
so
them that
happy
book.
to be. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
in letting me join in with you. I thank you so much.
no worries.
It's a big deal for me.
No worries.
Thank
We're
you for
glad to
being
have you. Yeah.
Yeah, we were glad to have you.
Yes. The real
Anyway,
guest.
we just want to thank you again, and you've been such a pleasure. Again, the name of your book and where they can find it.
You guys can find it. What Happens Next comes out November 14th. You can pick it up at Barnes & Noble or on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. My name is, let me introduce Marchand Melcher was our surprise guest.
Thank you, Dana.
And then we have
Thank you so much.
Caleb Stewart, and my name is Dana Day. I appreciate your joining us, and if you have any questions, you can go back and rewatch the episode if you didn't get the names and the addresses, and see you all next week at the same time, same place, and have a wonderful day.
What
Thank you so
happens
much.
next? What a
happens
great
next?
name for a show.
What happens next?